Welcome to the Positive Persistence Podcast, where ordinary people inspire your extraordinary success. What's up, family? My guest today is a serial entrepreneur and, amongst other things, a business strategist and a passionate catalyst for personal growth. She's guided countless individuals through breakthrough moments by helping them overcome self-doubt, embrace their true selves, and take bold, aligned action. Now, through her work with Virtually Sourced and the Catalyst Collective, she empowers people to navigate change and uncertainty with resilience and clarity. She's a host of her own podcast, Catalyst Conversations, where she shares inspiring stories and practical tools for anyone ready to ignite their own bold journey. But most importantly, she helps people create businesses that do not consume their lives, but build ones that actually support them. Desi Bolin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
I am really glad you are here because based off our conversation that we had a couple days ago, I've been looking forward to this conversation because, as I mentioned, you are a serial entrepreneur, right? But before we get into all that, I kind of want to just unpack Desi for a minute and talk about what brought you to this point. So if you could kind of tell us the story of Desi that led up to you being this serial entrepreneur.
So it started 10 years ago. I was born and raised in California, and my son was 1 at that time. And my husband and I did not want our son raised in that environment. So we randomly decided very spontaneously to take a month-long trip through 8 different states. We found a house within 2 weeks, closed on it in 2 weeks, and moved a month later. So now we're in Washington State. It was a very, very long move, 1,100 miles. After we moved up here, I had my daughter. And when my daughter was 5 months old, it was time to get back into work and back into making money. And we live in a town of 45 people. We did not take that into account when we bought the house that we live in. So
you said 45.
Yeah, me and my family make up 1/8 of the population. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And
small town.
I mean, I have corporate leadership experience. So of course I could jump back into corporate, and doing that, I would be gone for 12 hours a day. I did not want to do that. We homeschool our children. I did not want to be gone for more than half of their childhood.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what prompted just getting started. The next day after I made that decision, I started the company. I just jumped in with both feet, and it's had several iterations since I started 8 years ago. And it's been a ride. It's been a ride.
Let's talk about just a little bit. You touched on it, what you were doing professionally before you went on this 8-week journey that ended you from California to Washington.
So I have 10 years corporate management experience. That's what I shared. I was promoted to management when I was 17. So I have kind of always been in the leadership space in no matter what I do. So it kind of makes sense that I'm an entrepreneur. I was a night manager at a fast food restaurant. It happens. I'm at Wendy's, right? I did learn a lot in that, right? There's a lot of streamlining of processes and things that increased efficiency and productivity for not only my shifts, but everyone else's as well. After that, I was department supervisor at Home Depot. So I did I did flooring, appliances, and decor.
Okay.
All at the same time. And I don't talk about it much. So it's kind of like in the back of my subconscious, right? So And then when I was pregnant with my son, I was having some health difficulties. So it prompted the exit from corporate leadership.
So you've always, as you mentioned, you've always been in leadership roles, leading other people, helping to streamline processes, making things better, moving the needle forward by the action that you take. For those of us who are, I guess, not so inclined, who may be stuck and have a personal struggle, what we're trying to look to move forward, whether it's in life, whether it's in your profession, whether it's in relationships, how do you find that catalyst for change to be able to move forward? Like what's the turning point that you have to be at to decide to move into this mindset of persistence and self-trust to be able to get yourself out of this stuck situation?
Yeah, I mean, self-trust is big. Self-trust, self-love, everything internal. One of my biggest beliefs is that what is in you, whether positive or negative, is expanded and amplified in everything else you do. So if you're depressed, chaotic, overwhelmed, that is going to be expanded and amplified in your business, in your relationships, in your life. And flip for the reverse, right? Love, peace, joy, enlightenment, that's all expanded and amplified as well. So it's, for me at least, and I can't speak for everyone because everyone is different.
Sure.
It's kind of a little bit of a loaded question there, Ian. But for me, like intentionally, I wake up before my feet even hit the ground and choose to make it an amazing day, right? I choose to find joy in everything that I do, which is why I can still have peace and serenity when I'm doing so much, right? And there's definite mindset shifts. I mean, one of the ones that I use a lot and daily is I'm always operating with intention and I'm detached from the outcome. For some people, that comes off as cold. That does not mean I don't feel. It does not mean I'm not human.
Sure.
Right? It doesn't mean I don't have emotions. It means that I don't let the emotions of the situation affect how I show up. It means I stay true to myself. And there are mindset shifts, like specifically within language patterns, the language patterning shifts. I don't use the word but anymore. I use the word and. But is a cancellation statement and is a inclusion statement. I take accountability for everything in my life. And in taking accountability, I am able to exact change because there is power in accountability. Another language pattern shift would be, instead of saying you have to, say you get to. It's a choice. So those are just that was a lot. Those are some things that you can use.
Yeah. How do we get there, Desi? Like most of us, we're going to have all these adversities. We're going to have all these challenges that line up in front of us. And we start to think, how am I going to overcome this? I don't have enough resources to do this, or I don't think I'm good enough to be able to achieve XYZ.
Right.
So how do you help individuals confront that fear and reframe it so they can get to where they're using it as fuel, or they can get to where they're able to wake up thinking positively and not waking up in that fear state of, oh my God, what am I going to do now?
I actually did a post on this today. So, hey, divine timing. And in my experience, most people don't need another strategy. They need a different way of thinking. So when they're feeling stuck, it's tempting to assume the answer is to work harder, learn more, find the next productivity system. And often the real obstacle isn't a lack of knowledge. It's misalignment. So I'm circling back to alignment, which is my favorite word. A powerful mindset shift that will get you there is moving from asking, what should I do next, to asking what actually aligns with who I want to become. It's a big shift. Those questions lead to very different decisions. The first one, right? What should I do next? That often creates pressure. The second one creates clarity, and clarity is a momentum driver. When your actions are driven by comparison, urgency, or expectations, momentum is difficult to sustain. When they're rooted in your values, your strengths, your purpose, progress becomes more consistent because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're flowing with yourself. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed or you don't know where to go, try a simple reflection exercise. Write down everything you're currently saying yes to. For me, it's a very long list. The important part, though, is next to each item, ask, does this align with my priorities? Does it create energy or does it drain it? Am I doing this because it's meaningful or because I think I should? We all see those trends on social media. People are sharing about what's working for them. What they don't realize is that it's working for them with their alignment. When you try and recreate it in your own space, it is not going to flow because it's not in alignment with you. And
Mhm.
small shifts in thinking like that often create the biggest shifts in momentum. So, Ian, let me ask you, where in your
Yeah.
life or business are you following expectations instead of alignment?
Where am I following expectations instead of alignment? That's a great question because
Mm-hmm.
as you ask that question, I'm thinking about reframing those things that because sometimes I do feel overwhelmed in the things that I have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the things that I get to do
Right.
to move myself forward. And there's a lot of times, Desi, where I'll be thinking that I don't want to do this today. Like I'm not up to it today. But then, and I'm going to turn this back into a question for you. But when
Sure.
I get there and I'm in it and I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it,
Right.
right? Because I'm in the flow of what my purpose is in that moment. And I like doing it. I'm good at doing it. And I'm thinking to myself, what, you know what? This is great. This is great. Right. But
Right.
before I do it, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. So where do you think that disconnect comes from? Is it because I'm telling myself I'm tired or I'm worn out or I just don't know if I have it in me today before I get to the thing that I know that I'm gonna be good at and feel good while I'm doing it when I'm doing it?
Right.
Does that
Okay,
make
so
sense?
there's a couple of different facets to this question, and I love this question. So the self-talk is definitely a part of it. I
Mhm.
know that in everything that you do, your body is telling you things. Your experiences are held in your cells, right?
Yes.
Your
Yep.
past traumas, your past stories,
Mhm.
all of that is held in your cells. And until you do the inner work, that will always come up as a barrier. I know for me, my story was I'm not enough. I broke that. I know I'm enough. I'm
Mhm.
often more than enough, right? The other piece of it is homeostasis. So when you're in a period of growth, when you're trying to get to that next level, your subconscious has been keeping you safe. It puts barriers
Mhm.
in your way to keep you safe.
Yep.
That's its job, right? It doesn't want you to unalive, right? So when you're in a period of growth, those barriers will continue to pop up until you push through and rewrite that story of telling your subconscious that I am safe, I
Mhm.
am doing this, and forge a new homeostasis. I mean, it's kind of like there's that plateau and then you go up and then there's that plateau.
Yeah.
Those periods of plateau are the homeostasis points,
Okay.
right? Yeah,
Where
that's
you where you're feeling where you're literally holding yourself capable
mhm,
of what you're able to do at that point. And I imagine that you never come down from that plateau. Like once you've expanded that standard you've set for yourself, if you will,
mhm.
you never come down below that standard. You
Well,
continually push yourself.
I mean, there's extenuating circumstances, of
Sure.
course,
Hmm.
right? Everybody's experiences in life are different and similar to everyone else's, right?
Hmm.
There's always something that you can resonate with something that happened in someone else's life. That's the power of stories. Storytelling is incredibly powerful.
Hmm.
And humor, injecting humor into those stories makes it memorable. So for me, in my experience, I have not backslid because I am staying present to the periods of growth that I've already gone through. It's again coming back to a choice of
Hmm.
choosing to stay present. And the presence is where everything is at, really. Because when you're present, I've actually heard this quote that depression is living in the past stories, the past traumas. Anxiety is living in the future because you're worried
Hmm.
about what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And the present is the gift. Staying here in the present is what is going to make the most movement forward.
Is it when you are in the present, you are doing the things that align with your purpose and not worrying about the outcome?
Right. And I mean, that's not to say that I don't have goals and a vision for my life,
Hmm.
right? I do. It's smart to have those because then you have something you're working toward. Yet now that I have those and they're in here, I can stay in the present and do what needs to be done in the moment that will move the needle forward on everything else. One of the things that I do, I mean, people ask me all the time, how are you doing so much? Right? And I say, I do everything 1 second at a time.
What does
It's
that mean?
For me, that means, well, you've heard the phrase, I'm sure, take everything one step at a time. I do one breath at a time because a breath is oftentimes shorter than a step in terms of time. When I am taking everything one breath at a time, it is me focusing on that one particular thing for a breath. And I keep doing those breaths, which is increased in my experience, right? Has increased my productivity and efficiency tenfold because I'm able to stay present and move forward.
Let's lift the veil a little bit here and
Okay.
let's tell everybody, because we've alluded to it, serial entrepreneur, how busy you are. Let's lay it out on the table and let's say, what has got Desi so busy these days? Let's let our listeners and viewers know like the real of why you're so busy.
Okay, the real. We're going to make it short and sweet. I have 3 companies: Virtually Sourced, Catalyst Collective, Catalyst Conversation. One is strategy and structure. One is breakthrough and transformation. One is visibility and authority. All things that hold deeply passionate within myself, right? I am also director of operations for 3 of my clients. I am running their back ends. I am working with 5 charities. I coach for 3 different programs. I homeschool my 2 children. I read about 300 pages a day on average, and I find joy in every single piece of it.
That's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. That's a lot, right? So if you're human, you're going to be like, oh my God, Desi, that is crazy amount of stuff. We'll never be able to do all of that. That is unbelievable. But one of the things that you talk about, and you do this on a daily basis, is you show up as your true self. And that's something that you emphasize. And I think for me, that phrase ties into authenticity, right? And being
Yes.
our authentic selves. So I guess my question is, how can our listeners and viewers practice authenticity every day, showing up as their true self, especially when adversity tempts you to put on a mask or hide or start to indulge in someone else's success? Like you said, on social media, these are the things that they do. Well, I'm going to do that too. How do you show up as yourself when you are tempted to take these other paths?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a few different points here. You've probably heard me speak on it, Ian. Don't wear a mask. Don't put up a facade. Invite the weird, because like attracts like.
Mm-hmm.
So your ideal clients also have that weirdness. And if you're hiding yourself, if you're wearing that mask, no one is truly going to know you. And knowing you leads to trust. And trust is where it's at. I'm 95% referral and word of mouth based. People in my network trust me because they know me. They know I'm an open book. I will share anything and everything. I am not afraid to show up as myself because, like I said, I'm detached from the outcome. If someone doesn't like how I'm showing up, that's on them. It's not going to affect me.
Yes.
Another point to this is think about wearing a mask, putting up a facade. Now, most people have not done this. Think about how much mental bandwidth it takes to maintain that facade in every professional setting that you are in. It's like your split personality. And inevitably, you will have a crack in that facade.
Yeah.
People will start seeing the truth and realize you've been lying. Because let's be real, putting on a mask is lying. You're not being authentic.
Yeah.
So just don't do it in the first place. Make the conscious choice to show up as yourself unapologetically, and those who are meant to be in your space will come to you.
What would you say to an individual who feels it's easier to spin the bandwidth, to wear the mask, to put up the facade, than it is to expose myself and be vulnerable to what other people may think of me and have to deal with that? Right? Because I believe, that's why we put the mask up in the first place, is that we are afraid, we're living in fear of how we will be viewed by other people. How do we get to that self-trust point
Right.
to where, like you said, if you got a problem with the way I'm showing up, that's a you problem,
Mm-hmm.
not a me problem. But
Yeah.
how do we get to that point of confidence?
I'm going to put it in a little bit of context. So for me, I did a very intensive year about 5 years ago of personal growth and development, wherein I did 12 different courses on personal growth and development, different facets of it, breaking those past stories, growing as a human, getting back to who I was designed to be. 4 of them were in person, 8 of them were online. It was a very intensive year, especially for my family, because that was a lot. It really was. It's because I was working too, right? I bring home the money for the family, so I kind of got to keep working. Really, the inner work, while it is the hardest work, is the most rewarding work and the most long lasting. A lot of times when people hear personal growth and development, they think it's like a one and done. I'm going to go to this thing, I'm going to get these results, and then I'm complete. That's not the case. It's really not, because life is going to continue to happen to us, right? So I use the metaphor of it's gathering tools and putting them in a toolbox for you to call back on when life happens. And then the personal growth and development is peeling back the layers of the onion that life has piled on you to get back to who you were designed to be. And then just staying present to that. Now, that I haven't always been this confident, I haven't always been this extroverted, right? It has come with the growth of me getting back into alignment, of me showing up as me. And it's kind of like a chicken and egg scenario, like a what if situation. You have to have faith in yourself and move forward from that place and watch everything else fall into place. If you say yes and take that step to having self-trust and having confidence, everything else will follow.
If you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're what I call a sidelined achiever. You know you're capable of more, but right now you feel stuck, setback, or like life has benched you. And maybe it was an injury, a diagnosis, a layoff, a failed business, or maybe even a broken relationship. Something knocked you off your path and left you wondering, what now? How do I even start moving forward again? You're fed up feeling this way, but you don't have a clear roadmap out. Here's what I want you to hear. You are not broken. You are not done. You are not disqualified. You're just sidelined. And sidelines are where legendary comebacks are built. And that's exactly why I created the Rinse Method. It's a framework I used to go from being told I'd never run again to crossing a marathon finish line. Rinse is a simple, repeatable process that helps you build real daily resilience. Turn adversity into momentum, tap into the strength you already have, and hold yourself capable of doing what once felt impossible. If you're tired of being stuck and you're ready to create your comeback, not someday, but starting now, head over to watchmemindset.com. I love that. I love the fact that you said twice now in the last 2 minutes, getting back to who you were designed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. There are so many layers of crap that life and experience and our journeys put on us. And I feel like our potential is buried by those layers of crap that we have unassumingly sometimes allowed to be put on us, whether that is by circumstance, whether that is that we allow other people's thoughts of us become our own, whether we let other people's perceptions of our capabilities become our reality when they're actually diminished from what we're actually able to do. But going back to that, figuring out what you are designed for, that is so important because that's the base level for everything else.
Well, yeah, let's be real. You are the most important thing in your life. Without you, there is nothing. So why are you not taking care of yourself? Why are you not trusting yourself? There is only one of you. and there will only ever be one of you. It's about owning your power. It's about stepping up and stepping in. It's about showing up unapologetically, seeing what happens. You never know what's going to happen.
So, Desi, what if, because I want to thread this into self-compassion a little bit.
Okay.
What if we are showing up authentically as our true selves? We're putting in the work, we're doing the things, but we're not making the progress that we want or we think we should be making. How do you encourage people to be, for lack of a better word, gentle with themselves while still pushing forward through the adversity?
This has happened to me too. There are periods where you will need to keep your faith, or where that you need to rely on the trust you have in yourself. Everything happens for a reason. So when someone says that to me, I say, okay, you are here and in this space because you need to learn something, right? There is something here for you to pick up and implement that will change your life. So I don't look at periods of being stuck as actual periods of being stuck. This may be my perpetual student coming out, but I'm always looking for what can change, what can improve, what can grow, what can I transform, what can I catalyze, right? It's asking different questions. Instead of asking, why am I stuck? Asking, what is here for me to learn? And that presence will move you forward. Eventually, you get the lesson, you will move forward.
Yeah.
And it's about keeping the faith.
How do we not get stuck in this all or nothing thinking? Because I feel a lot of times we are, if it's not going our way and we're doing the things, then we're just like, you know what? It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do this thing because it's not working like I intended it to. So embracing that incremental growth, even though it's not going to happen tomorrow, how do we embrace that thought process to know that, this is going to take a while. This isn't going to be an overnight.
Guys, we're in the long game here.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And to your question, what immediately came up to me was the tortoise and the hare, that fable. Slow and steady will always win the race. Instead of the hustle culture, the fast, get it done, keep going, push through. I have an event that I'm doing next week, and I'm speaking with a panel of my peers on grit or grace. Do you push through or do you pause? It's this exact conversation, right? There are times where you will want to push through because you're right on the cusp. You realize that, in my experience, most people quit with 2% left before they succeed. They reach that hard point and they turn back, or they drop off, and they were right there. And those are the hardest things for me to witness, because I'm like, you were right there. One of the biggest things that plays into this is consistency. Consistency in everything you're doing. Consistency in posting and how you follow up and how you communicate. Consistency is the key to everything. We say consistency is queen. There's definite pieces. I mean, you asked, how do we not get stuck? And when I'm hearing that question from you, Ian, what came up for me is there is a misalignment if you are stuck, right? That means whatever thing you took off the internet and are implementing for yourself, whatever event you attended and the tools that they gave you and are implementing for yourself, you need to take a step back. You need to take a step back, look at it, and ask, is this aligned with who I want to be or who I am becoming? Is this aligned with my vision, my mission, my goals? If it's not, is there something I can do to make it be in alignment? If it is, then it would already be working. Everything comes back to alignment. That's why it's my favorite word. It took me, now don't get me wrong, it took me years to realize that alignment was the key. I was in the same boat, shiny object syndrome. I was following trends. I was trying to implement them for myself, and I'm banging my head against the wall saying nothing's working. 3 years ago, after I've gone through my personal growth and transformation, I was like, oh, it is not aligned with who I am. Therefore, it will not work, right? And there's a lesson in that too. Did I learn a lot going through all of that? Of course. Of course. And I find that our growth propels itself forward when you fail. If you think about the light bulb, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. It's the same concept. You learn from your mistakes. And I actually find that you learn more from your mistakes than you ever will your successes. It will propel you forward the fastest when you fail. So give yourself permission to fail because it does make a difference.
And would you equate that with giving yourself grace?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, 100%. Don't judge yourself for it. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do the negative self-talking thing. I can easily say that. And do I negative self-talk myself sometimes? Yes. Gonna be transparent here. Do I stay in that negative self-talk? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it within 30 seconds and I shift because I don't want that. I know for myself, I want peace, love, joy, enlightenment. I want those happy, good, feel good, peaceful emotions. I don't want the anxiety and the depression and the stress and the overwhelm. I've been through burnout 3 times. Okay, I get it. I really, really get it. Give yourself grace.
What's the thing that clicks for you when you are having that instance of negative self-talk where you're like, Desi, nope, we're stopping that. And we're getting back to the positive thinking. Is there a process that you use? Is there a framework that you go through? Is there something that is just a default that when you hit that level, you're like, nope, that's enough of that.
Right.
Switch it back.
Right. There isn't a framework, although I am the queen of frameworks. I have lots of frameworks. Internally, it works a little bit differently. I'm right. Sure, there are some processes and systems that you can use internally that'll help. I found for me that it's really just about staying present to what's actually processing in my head. So when I realize, oh, that's a negative statement, that's an immediate trigger to switch for me, right? It's just staying present to what is flowing, especially because my brain goes on so many different tracks at the same time. That presence is imperative for me. And being able to immediately shift is a habit that has been developed, right? It's like habits. Let's talk habits for a second, Ian.
Yeah.
It's like a bodybuilder weight training in a gym, right? They don't do it one day and are ready to go, right? It's a consistency of being in that gym every single day until they get where they want to go and then maintaining it. I have an email inbox that sits at 0.
That's impressive.
Not many people, it's a humble brag. Not many people can say that. And this is, I'm bringing it up because it speaks to habits. 8 years ago, I said, I don't like my messy inbox. So I cleaned it up. And now my inbox sits at 0. I literally cannot go with an email sitting in my inbox for more than an hour. I can't because it's so deeply ingrained in me now. And there's a system to it, right? There's the important ones that don't need action from me, from my clients, are all moved into their appropriate folders. Things that need action stay in the inbox until that action is taken. Promotion and junk mail are either unsubscribed or deleted if I want to stay on the list for the time being. There is a process to it. And I'm speaking to habits because it's the same with these internal tools. You have to continue to implement them if you want the result.
When we're talking about habits and we're talking about consistency, those words to me are synonymous with discipline and having the discipline to do these things over and over again and understanding that you have to have, as Ben Newman calls it, aggressive patience and doing the same things over and over again and knowing that you might not have that immediate gratification, but it's going to take time. It's going to take that consistency. It's going to take that discipline to be able to get to that goal that you want to have. And if that goal is positive thinking, it's going to take some time, right? You're going to have to be aware, right? We're talking about being aware and being present and being aware of the thoughts that you're having so you can catch them. You can catch those negative thoughts and stop them.
It's very interesting. What came up to me when you were just sharing, Ian, is that there is a fine line between consistency and insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Consistency is doing the same thing over and over and over again and trusting that it will produce a result.
I like that.
Um,
Yeah.
right. But the biggest thing about consistency is that presence. Because if you're consistent and present, then you will notice when there is a bottleneck, when there is a gap, when there is something broken that you can fix and then still maintain that consistency, which
Yeah.
will inevitably lead to growth and scaling and all of those successful pieces that you want to attain.
In that, I guess you have to shed some of your old identity, some of your old beliefs to be able to move forward. So I guess to dive into your brain a little bit, what are some signs, okay, that it's time to let go of what no longer serves you? And how can somebody do that? I guess we'll use the word courageously, because you have to have that courage to be able to let go of that old identity and step into something that's uncomfortable and new.
Yeah, well, okay. This is a powerful question. I mentioned it earlier. One of the biggest things I use is say yes and take a step. That's courage. And uncomfortableness is where the growth happens. That is when you're uncomfortable, that means you are stepping out of your homeostasis. It means you are stepping out of your fear. I'm going to point to, again, in the inner work. The inner work is really where it's at. And even just one session with someone can transform. I mean, a transformation can take a second when you hear the right thing that you need to hear. And let's take toxic relationships for an example. I have cut out every single toxic relationship that no longer serves me because they were representations of stories that I was telling myself. Cut it away like a cancer. Just cut it away. And then still lean into that trust and stay present to what is happening around you, within you. More importantly, take that next aligned action. Ask yourself, is this person, is this thing serving me? If the answer is no, then you know your answer. Cut it out. As Bob Newhart says, stop it. Just stop it, right? If the answer is yes, it is serving me, then you know it needs to stay in your life for a reason, right? And maybe that is a different iteration of that thing, right? That doesn't mean, this is life. We get to create our life. We get to shape and mold it. I don't fit in a box. Why are you trying to fit into everyone else's box?
Well, isn't that what we're taught
Yes.
when we're kids?
Yes.
Right? We need to follow the rules. We need to do these certain things to be accepted in society. And, especially now I have 6 kids, and 5 of them, one's 18, are still in, their teenage years, that are still in this, middle school, high school, finding myself. I don't want to be too much of an individual because I don't want to stick out and be made fun of, but I want to be individual enough to still be cool. But we're taught to follow the herd, if you will, to fit inside the box.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So
definitely. It's a societal norm
who
that we conform.
who am I to think that I'm gonna bust out of that norm and still be accepted?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I pointed to this a little bit earlier. Like attracts like. Your people will come to you. For me, I have never fit inside a box. Now, in school, did I do what I was supposed to do? Yeah. I graduated with a 4.25 GPA. And I started college. And I was like, this is not for me. I'm tired of being in somebody else's box. I have a degree in medical coding and billing. You probably don't know that. I completed that degree in a year because I don't fit in a box.
Yeah.
For me, when I am free to be myself without placing those societal norms and cultural customs on myself, there's a freedom and a power that does not exist when you're trying to get accepted by everyone else around you. Yes, absolutely. We are taught that from a very early age. And for me, it came down to breaking the mold in terms of, I don't accept this for myself. This might sound a little woo-woo. I am a divine being. I was created divinely, as are we all, for a purpose. That purpose is not to fit into someone else's box. My passion, my purpose, my mission is way too big to fit into anybody else's box.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just being truthful with yourself. I'm not saying this inner work is easy. No, it's one of the hardest things you will ever do, because talking to yourself is very, very difficult, and especially being honest about it, because of those stories that are present in our subconscious that need to be cleansed
Yeah.
and cleared and healed. It's hard work. And I'll say again, it's rewarding. It really, really is. I was angry all the time 5 years ago. Ian, would you ever expect me to be angry?
Doesn't seem like it, does he? No.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
We have, well, and just for the record, I am here for the woo-woo.
I love the woo-woo.
So we have covered a lot of ground in this conversation, and I want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show and drop all these pearls of wisdom. I want to ask this final question. If you could give our listeners and our viewers one powerful mantra, and you've kind of talked about it already, a little bit of a mindset shift to carry them through adversity, what would it be?
There's a couple that are coming up for me. First one is make everything simple. Stop overthinking things.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our life, these actions that we need to take are very, very simple. And we as humans make it very, very hard. And it doesn't have to be. So that leans into giving yourself grace. Give yourself the permission to make it simple. That's one thing. And then in terms of a mindset shift, I implore you to implement always operating with intention and being detached from the outcome. And understanding that it doesn't mean you're not feeling emotions. It doesn't mean that you're not human. It just means that you are showing up unapologetically as you, no matter what, no matter the situation. And things are going to happen because of that.
Desi, I want to thank you again for taking the time out and being with us today. Let's give our listeners and viewers some information on where they can find out more about you, more about your coaching, and more about your businesses.
Absolutely. I am all over the stinking place. So you can go find me on any social media channel. I'm constantly posting. That's that consistency. The easiest thing to do is set up a conversation with me. It's very easy. It's talkwithdesi.com. It's really, really easy because I always love conversation. You never know what's going to come out of it, right? That's how I ran an event with a Swedish peace ambassador last year. Just, you'd never know, right?
Yeah.
So please, I invite you. Come talk with me.
Talkwithdesi.com. All right, guys. I want to thank our listeners and viewers as well for joining us on this episode. We'll wrap it up like we always do. Remember to stay positive, stay persistent, and know mindset is everything.
Yes.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in and being part of the Positive Persistence family. We're having a great time creating this content, and we truly hope it inspires you to embrace positivity and persistence in your own journey. If this podcast episode inspired you or entertained you, scroll down, hit those stars, and leave a comment or two. Your 5-star reviews and shares encourage us and help us grow the show. So until next time, stay positive, stay persistent, and remember, mindset is everything.